octagon, fire to the studio mics. Tune in weekly, we're dropping the spikes. Analyzing every punch, every kick that lands. Maniacs in the game, playing with fans' demands. Ken's got the insight, Joe's got the flair. Mapping out the fights, will take you anywhere. So grab your popcorn, buckle up tight.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
No. What's up? What's up? Back again on the MMAniacs podcast, joined as always by Bare Knuckle Ken. What's up, buddy?
What up, man?
Oh, man. Just training hard, you know, the usual. I've been last night I was on YouTube looking at some sweeps from Lasso Guard because you know, I've been telling you for a while now, like, my guard game is not good. And, you know, I'm trying to improve that. So, like, every sparring session, I'm starting out from closed guard and, you know, getting pounded, dude, getting my ass kicked. But I'm getting better. And really the reason I wanted to do that is to try to find the guard game that works for me. You know, like, there's all kinds of different guards. And, you know, you'll be better at some than others. And, you know, closed guard is not my game, dude. So, you know, I'm getting, like, starting to get the hang of Lasso Guard and Spider Guard. I don't know if you know.
I was going to say, why don't you explain what those ones are?
All right. So, you basically set them up the same way. So with closed guard, or with Lasso Guard, so you start with closed guard.
Mm-hmm.
You take wrist control on both sides, so you grab the sleeve on both sides, and then you bump your hips up, and you bring your feet onto their hips, so that you can use that to push with your hips or your feet on their hips, and you pull simultaneously on their arms, and then so you use that to create the space so you can hip escape to one side or the other. So if I have closed guard, I put my feet on their hips. Now I push myself back, and while I pull their arms, and then I go on to one side, whatever side I go on to. So if I roll onto my right side, I'm going to use my left leg, and I wrap it over their arm and then up into their armpit, tuck it into their armpit.
Okay.
It's called Lasso Guard. Matter of fact, why don't you so you can get a better idea, just Google it real quick or YouTube it. I know you can't show it on the screen, unfortunately, but if for the fans at home, yeah, we don't want to get YouTube dinged anymore for copyrights. So you'll have to just Google it for yourself. But Lasso Guard is something that I've been practicing a lot, and like I'm getting good at. I can get the Lasso Guard, but once I get there, it's like I get stuck on, like, what to do, you know? You know, because I didn't know a lot of sweeps, and not just that, but it's like Lasso Guard is good for control, but I'm not good at attacking from it yet. The way I figure it is, like, first learn to actually get the lasso, then learn how to sweep from the lasso, then I'll learn how to attack from the lasso. Like, the attacking is last, you know? Because if you can use the Lasso Guard to sweep and get into a better position, then why wouldn't you, right? Like, if I can sweep you and I can end up in mount, then I don't need to attack from lasso, right? So, and really the idea should be to sweep when you know, unless you're just super good at attacking. If you're in a closed guard situation, or if you're in a guard situation, like, you know, you have options, but they have options. Like, and if they pass your guard, you're going to get fucked up. So, like, you got to, you know, the idea for me is to sweep and get into a better position. So, did you get to see what Lasso Guard looks like?
Yeah.
And then, so Spider Guard is similar. You set it up the same way, but instead of throwing your arm or your leg over the arm, while you keep the wrist trapped, but, like, you put your leg over and then up into the armpit. With Spider Guard, instead, you take the wrist outside and then you put your foot, the arch of your foot, right into their bicep, right here in the crook where the elbow is.
Mm-hmm.
And then you use that. You can fully extend you can fully extend your leg, and then while you're pulling on the arm, it's very painful. Like it's not painful enough to make somebody tap unless you're just like super strong, but it's enough of an inconvenience. You know what I mean? Where they're like, "Ah, this sucks." You know,
Yeah.
like they want to get out. And there's
Mhm.
a lot of good sweeps from Spider Guard too. Um, so today, what I was doing was working on those sweeps that I saw last night, and then I was also working on um, so basically, once you get lasso guard, you can either put your other foot into their hip, or you can grab. You know, if you have control of their wrist, you can go lasso on one side, spider on the other side, which is it's a nasty control, but it's like you're gonna have to give up a grip in order to sweep, you know, like to grab a leg or something. So like I'll do that temporarily, but I don't like hold on to spider on one side and lasso on the other, you know.
Mhm.
But what I've been actually learning, and my professor even said it today because we were actually I was already like working on lasso guard, and this month because the way that our jujitsu class works, professor will go over a certain concept for a month, right? So this month it's guard passing. Next month it's going to be guards like spider guard, lasso. We'll go through the actual guard positions for the defensive part of it, and attacking. But this month we're doing guard passing, right? So in order to do that, he's like you'll when he's demonstrating a technique, I'll put him in a lasso guard, and then he'll show you how to counter the lasso guard or how to counter the spider guard, right? And so today he said he was like, you know, if you get lasso on one side, he's like, if you put in a reverse De La Hiva, that you know they're not going anywhere. Like they can't move. It's basically a really powerful control, right? So whatever side you have the lasso on, um, I've mentioned De La Hiva guard before. Do you remember De La Hiva?
No.
So you can Google it if you want reverse De La Hiva. But basically, it's like you're gonna hook. So if I have lasso with my left leg on your right arm, I'm going to take my right leg and I'm going to hook it behind your knee, um, almost like a half guard, but it's called reverse De La Hiva. So it's a really good control, and there's lots of sweeps from that position too. Um, well, there's lots of sweeps that you can set up from that position. So yeah, basically not to take too much time, but you know, we're talking about MMA, we're talking about jujitsu. Jujitsu is a huge part of MMA, so
Okay.
yeah.
I can
So
see it.
if any of the fans are interested
Yeah, I
in
would
learning the technical aspects of the game, right, of jujitsu, you know, lasso guard with a reverse De La Hiva is a control that's very, very hard to break or to get out of. You can basically control your opponent until you find a way to sweep or to attack. So yeah, I was working on that today, and it was a lot of fun. You know, there was only me and another guy in the class today in the morning class, so it was like almost like a private lesson. You know what I mean? It's pretty dope when it's just two guys because professor can really like sit there and give you like the ins and outs, like the details, and you know, really the finer points of the techniques and stuff. So it was pretty fun. Um, Speaking of pretty fun, that card last week was pretty fun too, huh?
Yeah, I was gonna say it ended up being a little more impressive than I thought it was gonna be going into it, like the undercard fights, because I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't expecting too much out of some of them. What I
How about Michael Johnson, man?
Oh
Like
yeah,
Michael Johnson turned the clock back, dude. Because Zell Huber is a good fighter. Like he's not a finished product yet. He's a young guy. He's still got room to grow, and you know he's just outside that top 15. If he would have beat Michael Johnson, he would have got ranked. But Michael Johnson turned the clock back, man. Like he looked pretty impressive. So
yeah.
Not
Yeah,
that I
from
think
what
he's going to go on a title run or anything, but like he solidified his place. Like he deserves to be in the top 15. You know.
mm-hmm. Yeah, from what I saw of the fight was good. I was having a little bit of issues on my stream in the very beginning.
Yeah, and then you know, that Dustin Poirier and Max Holloway fight was a great fight. I was a little disappointed in the decision. Let me rephrase that. I thought it was the right decision, but I was a little disappointed in the scorecards. I felt like 49-46 was pretty wide, considering the fight that we saw. They gave 4 rounds to Max Holloway, and I don't.
What's up, buddy?
I've watched that fight a couple of times, and I can't find 4 rounds to give Max. I can find 3 rounds. You know, definitely I can find 3 rounds, but 4 rounds is. It makes me wonder what those judges were watching. But I don't disagree with the decision overall. I thought Max earned it, you know, and we both know where I stood on that fight.
Oh, absolutely. Now, I got to ask you a question that's probably going to slightly tweak you, but I've heard it going around some of the MMA circles. Do you think that last 10 seconds there of that fight took away from Poirier's legacy a bit with him clinching up at the very end of it instead of standing and baiting the full way?
I mean, people can say what they want. Dustin Poirier is not afraid of getting punched. Like, he's been punched countless times in his career. Would I have liked to see him stand there and slug it out the last 10 seconds? Sure. Is it the smart move for him in his retirement fight, like to get Gaethje'd in the last 10 seconds of the fight? No. Like
I think part of it was people expected Poirier to be, I'm either going to knock you out or get knocked out for my last fight.
Yeah, but Poirier has never been that I'm going to stand in the middle and for the last 10 seconds and we're just going to throw, like, you know, we're going to trade shots. Like, I don't blame him for that move because honestly, it's your retirement fight. You want to win. And I think he felt like he had done enough to win. But if he gets Gaethje'd in the last 10 seconds, we're not going to find out. So he's like, you know what? Let's take it to the cards. Like, I feel confident in what I've done. Of course, you know, in retrospect, it didn't work out that way. But I don't look at it as a cowardice move on his part. I think it was a veteran move. Like, I think it was a crafty move. And I'll just say this, like, honestly, slugging it out in the last 10 seconds in close quarters with Max Holloway is probably up there on the list of, like, the stupidest things you could do in MMA. Like, Max, bro, like, that's sort of becoming Max's thing. Like,
his accuracy is just fucking insane with his punches, and he's got pretty damn good speed. It's not, you know, the fastest hands we've ever seen, but he's definitely up there with speed. Now, he might not have a shit ton of power, but once you get in the middle of those combinations, those punches start to add up.
Bro, I think he does have power. He just doesn't have crazy knockout power. But those punches hurt, bro. Like, and like let's go back and let's really analyze that last 10 seconds. What happened in that last 10 seconds? Max pointed to the center. Dustin stepped up. He threw a nice hook, caught Max clean with a nice hook, and then he proceeded to eat about 17 punches in about a second and a half. And he's like, "Yeah, fuck this, dude." Like,
he made himself a business decision, is what you're saying.
and honestly, bro, can you say you would have done any different? Like, you throw a nice fucking haymaker hook, and you catch him clean.
And then you proceed with them, but what you think in reality are two different things.
bro, I don't even think it was a conscious decision that Dustin made. I think it's a reaction. It's an instinct. When somebody comes on strong and they've landed 17 punches in the matter of a second and a half, like, you're gonna clinch. So let me ask you this. In boxing, right? Like, if two guys are in a boxing match and one guy has the other guy on the ropes and he's pounding the living shit out of him, is the guy a pussy for clinching?
You're asking the wrong guy that question, because I think so.
Well,
just for well, okay, let me rephrase that. It depends on what type of fighter they are. If they're anywhere in that brawler category, they don't got to be a pure fucking brawler, but anywhere in that category, I expect you to stand and bang throughout that and kind of fight your way out of it. Now, if you're more of a technical boxer, I'm not going to bitch at a guy for clinching in that situation, because being technical, that's the right thing to do there.
Bro, okay, well, we can agree to disagree, because for me, that's whether you're a brawler or a technical boxer, it's just smart business. Like, there's ebbs and flows in a fight. Like, there's minutes where this guy comes on strong, and then there's minutes where the other guy comes on strong. If you're a smart fighter, when he comes on strong, that's when you take a break. That's when you clinch it out, let him wear himself out, you take as little damage as possible, so that you survive to where you can come on strong now. Like, there's ebbs and flows in a fight. At that point, like, yeah, Max was like, Dustin landed that nice hook, and then Max proceeded to just fucking tee off, dude. Like, so yeah, I don't blame Dustin Poirier one bit for clinching. I'm like, fuck clinch, dude. Like, it's MMA. It's not fucking Rock'em Sock'em Robots, dude. Like, we don't have to sit here until somebody's head pops off. Like,
I was gonna say, see, that right there's the differences I massively enjoy when you got two guys that are just going straight toe to toe and fighting in a phone booth.
Yeah, but that fight wasn't that, but it was a very entertaining fight.
Oh yeah.
Like, it wasn't like they were trying to avoid each other. Like, they both landed a lot of fucking punches, dude. And there was moments where Dustin was almost out of there, and there was moments when Max was almost out of there. I mean, they even had a round where they both almost finished each other in the same fucking round. Mm-hmm. The round two, like, Max had Dustin in trouble. Dustin managed to, managed to survive, and then Dustin managed to get on top of him, and he had him out with the elbows, like, at the very end of the round. Max, even after the fight, went up to Dustin. He's like, man, you had me out with those elbows, dude. Like, so... Goose Baba. Dude, trying to do a show when you have kids is like impossible, dude. Anyway, the fight itself was very entertaining. It was a back and forth battle. I thought Max did a really good job of not playing Dustin's game. Like, Dustin was trying to walk him down, and every time Dustin would come in to engage, Max would throw a combination, which sort of, it seemed to, like, not hurt Poirier, but, like, force him to reset and then, go. Like, he just stayed ahead, Max stayed ahead on the punch count, and he sort of, like, he never let Dustin really get comfortable and settle in, like, in the exchanges. Max was like, as soon as Dustin got close enough, he's throwing that jab out there, he's popping a 1-2, and then he's stepping off. And so Dustin was forced to constantly try to reset, and he's looking for that one shot because he's not going to get a combination off really on Max. He's got to hope for that one shot that clips him. So it was, I thought it was a great fight. I don't know. I'm not just as a Dustin fan. Like, I mean, obviously I'm disappointed that Dustin lost. Like, I wanted to see him win. I felt like that fight could have gone either way. but I'm not. I agree with the decision. Like, I can definitely find 3 rounds to give to Max. He was the slicker striker. He had a very good game plan, and he stuck to it. And his game plan forced Dustin to where Dustin couldn't implement his game plan, and that's what you want to do, right?
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
I thought Max fought a very good, crafty fight. And I don't blame Dustin for the last 10 seconds because I think there's very, very, very few guys in the UFC who are actually going to sit there and slug it out the last 10 seconds with Max, dude. Like, you would be foolish to do so, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
It's not just Gaethje that's going to get slept, man. Like, people act like, well, there's 2 different camps, right? There's the people who like, oh, Gaethje got slept, but they forget the fact Gaethje had a broken nose, so he was forced to have his mouth wide open, so he couldn't bite down on his mouthpiece to take that punch. He was gonna get, if he got clipped, he was gonna get knocked out. It was gonna happen. But if you lean too far into that, then you're taking away from how good of an inside phone booth fighter Max really is. Like, I don't want to take anything from Max because I think Max could do that same thing to almost anybody. If they're willing to stand there and trade punches with Max for the last 10 seconds, he's going to knock out 80% of those guys. Easy. So, yeah, I don't blame Dustin at all. I thought it was a smart business decision, especially if you think that you won, if you feel like, if you feel like you have a chance on the cards, why are you going to get knocked out instead of going to see what the judges think, Yeah, and I think I think he probably wanted to, like, knowing Dustin's. I mean, I don't know Dustin personally, but I've seen enough of him. I've been a fan of him long enough. I think Dustin probably did want to slug it out those last 10 seconds, but once he caught those 17 punches, he was like, you know what? He's like, you know what? Like, plans change, man.
Hey, like Mike Tyson said, everybody's got a plan till you get punched in the mouth.
Right. And Dustin got punched in the mouth in the mouth and the body about 15 times. Like, and then, so yeah, dude, I don't blame him one bit. I'm going to grab that motherfucker too. Like, you know what I mean? Think about it in a street fight, Ken. As much as I know you like the bare knuckle, as much as you like the 2 guys fighting it out in a phone booth, let's just be honest. If you were in a street fight, are you going to sit there and just fucking rock 'em, sock 'em robots with somebody?
Oh, fuck no. I'm on my bicycle and I'm using every bit of my boxing technical skill that I got.
Right. So then why is the guy a pussy for using strategy?
Because there's a huge difference. I have a C1 and 2 that's fused together. I'm looking to do just enough damage to get the fuck out of there.
Well, I mean, strategy is strategy across the board. And if you don't use strategy in a fight, you're a fool. Like, there's guys, you don't want to be one of those icy red Kyles, bro. Like, you know what I'm talking about? I see red, bro. I just see red and I fucking snap. And like those icy red Kyles, like, with their monsters and they're punching holes in drywall. Like, you don't want to be Kyle, dude. Like, Kyle can see red all he wants, but if Kyle tries to see red on me, he's going to see black because I'm going to choke him the fuck out. Like, I'm going to weather the storm. I'm not going to sit there and trade rock'em sock'em robots with him. I'm going to move out of the way. I'm going to take him down, and I'm going to strangle him, and then he's going to see black instead of red. Like, I'm going to use strategy, like, because that's what a smart person does, dude. And that's what I love about jiu-jitsu is that, like, a lot of people who are untrained, that's how they fight. They see red, they windmill punches, there's no technique, there's no rhyme or reason. It's all survival. Jiu-jitsu teaches you get put in bad positions so often that you become, if not comfortable, at least a lot less uncomfortable in those positions. It's like where you don't panic and you don't start flailing around. We call it spazzing. Like, you don't start spazzing around.
When I say I want to see 2 guys in a phone booth fight, I don't mean I just want them standing there completely square, just throwing hooks at each other. I want to see some actual boxing combinations and that type of shit going on with it. That's where I want my strategy involved. Is what punches are you throwing in which succession to get the better of your opponent?
Yeah, and Max Max has that in spades, bro.
Oh, absolutely.
He's the best combination puncher in mixed martial arts, hands down. And so, yeah, you know
And I know I already said it, but man, his fucking accuracy's off the charts.
yeah, dude. Like there's a saying in boxing, you don't hook with a hooker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you heard that saying, right?
Oh yeah,
Means
absolutely.
you don't sit there and throw hooks and trade hooks with a guy who's known for his hook, right? Like you don't hook with a hooker. Well, you don't stand in the middle in the last 10 seconds with Max Holloway. Like you just don't do it. Like unless you're Ilya, you know, maybe Ilya.
I was gonna say, speaking of that, if you've been hearing the little bit of rumblings that they might be putting Max and Ilya up for the BMF belt, because Max was talking about how he wants to defend it again.
I don't like that fight. I don't like that fight for Max. I don't like that fight for Ilya. Like it's. I mean, if they want to put the BMF belt on Ilya so bad, then I guess that's the way they got to do it. I just think there's better fights out there to be made. Obviously, now with Dustin losing to Max, Dustin's out of the picture. But you still have Gaethje versus Ilya. I think is an entertaining fight. Gaethje doesn't seem to want to fight Paddy Pimblett for some reason, which I don't understand because that'd be a really good fight. But I don't know. There's a lot better fights that could be put on at 55, in my opinion. Max, I know it was at featherweight, but do you really see a Max and Topuria fight at 55 being that much different?
I think it might be, because don't forget though, Max had gone up in a weight class and then back down for that fight. So if they have it more at the weight that Max is at now, I think he stands a better chance.
I don't, man. I'm not discounting your argument. It's a fair and a valid argument, and it's definitely something to consider. Like Max did go down after moving up to 55. He did go down for that one fight, and draining that much weight can weaken your chin, and that's scientific. Like for the fans. So when these guys cut weight, they dehydrate themselves to make the weight, and what ends up happening is once you cut a certain amount of weight, like it actually reduces the amount of fluid on your brain, and when you dehydrate yourself that much, so now like there's less fluid to cushion your brain from hitting the sides of your skull when you get rocked. It's it's proven fact. Like you're easier to knock out when you're dehydrated. So when you're especially extremely dehydrated, like these guys tend to be. So
what you're saying is we need to have Homer Simpson fight Ilya.
I mean, if you want to watch a guy get slugged for 25 minutes and not go out, but he's not going to like down in the
I'm glad you got the reference to the episode.
Yeah, dude. Like I don't know, man. For me, I think there's better fights to be had. I wouldn't mind seeing Max and Charles. I think that would be a good fight. I wouldn't mind seeing Max and Gaethje go again. Gaethje wants Max.
I was going to say I'd like to see that one again.
Gaethje just came out and said he doesn't want to fight Pimblett. He said an ideal run for him is to fight Ilya, beat Ilya, and then defend the lightweight title at the White House next year on the White House lawn, and go for the BMF belt against Max, and then retire with the lightweight title and the BMF title. That's his dream scenario.
I was going to say that definitely sounds like a dream scenario.
Yeah, it sounds like a dream, all right. But, I mean, I don't know.
Now, what I want to know, what did you think about the Ige and Pitbull fight?
I mean, I thought Pitbull did what he had to do. It was an entertaining fight, kind of, but
Kind of being the operative word.
it wasn't what I was expecting.
Yeah, definitely was not what I was expecting either. And Pitbull, again, has still yet to impress me in the UFC. And
Mm-hmm.
personally, I think Ige won that fight.
I gave it to Pitbull because of the takedowns,
Well,
but
you're going to say that's why I'm not up in arms about it, because of how many takedowns he had. I can see why the judges scored it like they did. I just wouldn't have scored it like that myself.
yeah. Sorry, I'm starving, so I'm eating chips. I'm not upset with the decision. I'm upset with the fight. Like, Ige is the kind of guy that looks to make a fight.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Pitbull prevented him from doing that. Like, I feel like Pitbull prevented that from being a very, very entertaining fight.
Mm-hmm.
He did what he had to do to get the decision so that he wasn't 0-2. But he didn't knock my socks off. Let's put it that way.
Oh, absolutely. He didn't bring me back as a fan after seeing all those highlights from Bellator and all that. I'm expecting great things from him, but he's sorely lived up to that type of hype coming into the UFC, because he was more billed as a knockout artist. And granted, he's got quite a few knockouts, but he picks and chooses his spots of aggression very well, to where he's not an aggressive fighter until he's got you on the ropes.
Mm-hmm. They mentioned that on the broadcast.
Yep.
That the only time he's really aggressive is when he's got you hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I think another thing that is sort of working against him, I think he's just finding out that the level of competition is just so much higher. You know? Like in Bellator, I'm not trying to shit on Bellator. Bellator has some good fighters, but how many of those Bellator guys could go to UFC and be champions? Not many. There's a reason they're in Bellator.
Yep.
Now, there have been guys who can come over. Cyborg, for example.
Yep.
That I just thought about. That sounded terrible. I said there have been guys who have come over, and then I mentioned Cyborg. That was not intentional. She's just the first one that came to mind. But she came from another promotion, and she won the belt. I believe she was the 145 champion. I don't know. We're discussing the Pitbull versus Dan Ige fight from the last card. We both felt it was sort of a lackluster fight, and it wasn't due to Dan Ige. Dan Ige tried to make the fight the best he could, but Pitbull did what he had to do to get a decision. But he didn't impress anybody doing it. That's basically what we're discussing. And I was saying that I think part of the problem for Pitbull, why he's hasn't impressed anybody, is because the level of competition is so much higher that, you know, he's not getting these highlight reel finishes because everybody in the UFC is tough. Oh, yeah, you're talking about Evangelista. I'm talking about Chris.
Yeah, I think Pitbull pretty much did just enough to earn himself another fight in the UFC. but I don't know how much past that he's earned. He's still got to have that show out performance, even if he loses. Show you got some entertaining quality to you.
No, I agree. His career in the UFC is going to go one of two ways, or maybe three ways, but he can either do what he's doing now, right? Like the Ben Askren, where you wrestle your way to contention and then hope that you get a title shot. Or you can go the Chandler route, which is lose to all the top guys, but it's entertaining, so people want to watch you fight because you actually lay it all on the line, win or lose. Like, Chandler's made a lot of money doing that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Chandler fought all the top guys in the division and lost to 80%, 90% of them, but it was entertaining. Like, think of one Michael Chandler fight in the UFC that you weren't entertained by. Don't worry, I'll wait. You know, it's like I could name his victories. He beat Tony Ferguson. Like, he highlight reeled Tony Ferguson, but I mean, other than that, he's lost to everybody in the top 10 damn near.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's been entertaining. You know that when Michael Chandler goes in there, you're going to get 1 to 2 rounds of dynamite action before he goes to sleep or gets choked out.
Yeah. I was going to say, I wouldn't mind that from Pitbull, especially with the name of fucking Pitbull. You expect this guy to, be more aggressive and a little flashy, but yeah.
You expect too much.
Apparently.
Song Yadong. I like Song. What's wrong with Song? I actually like a lot of the Chinese fighters. I like Leach. I like Song Yadong. I like Yan Xiaonan. I like Wei Li, but
I definitely do.
Wei Li's great. I just don't want to jump on the bandwagon. Like, I like her, but I haven't been a fan, so I don't want to all of a sudden become a fan, Like, there's nothing wrong with that, I guess, but I just like who I like. Like, I like Wei Li. I think she's a phenomenal fighter. No, I'm not at Team Alpha. I train at Carlson Gracie Napa Valley with Professor Marino, but the head jiu-jitsu instructor at Team Alpha Male is Fabio Prado, and he's a 5th degree, and him and my professor actually trained together, both of them under Carlson Sr. and Carlson Jr. So they're 2 of Carlson's 100 black belts that he made in his life. Yeah. And I think that's a good thing. Like, MMA has a huge untapped, well, for the UFC purposes, MMA has a huge untapped market in Asia. They also have a huge untapped market in Africa. It hasn't been developed yet. You have, you have Dricus. You have a couple of African fighters that moved somewhere else. Dricus is really the only one who's from Africa, that lives in Africa, that, but I expect that market to grow. I expect that you'll start to see more African fighters come out. Well, actually, Ngannou, no, because he went to France. So yeah, I expect there to be more African fighters and more Asian fighters, Indonesians, Thais. I'm surprised that there's not many Thais. The way that they love Thai kickboxing, you would think that somebody would go over there and set up an MMA gym and start having those guys train. But most of the guys who go train in Thailand, they end up going to Australia to train MMA. So, but yeah, there's a huge untapped market there. So Wei Li, I like Wei Li. They're actually, it looks like they're going to make that Valentina Wei Li fight. Take my money. Who do you like in that fight?
Who? I'm gonna go with Zhang Wei Li, just for how heavy-handed she is.
Mm-hmm. So you're assuming she's going to be able to put one on the chin?
Yes. I would say her striking has given me enough confidence in her to give her the benefit of the doubt most of the time.
Mm-hmm. But that's at strawweight. Keep in mind, she's going up to flyweight. So she's going up an extra 10 pounds, and Valentina cuts down to flyweight. So I would imagine Valentina's going to have probably a 10-pound weight advantage on fight night.
Mm-hmm.
And 10 pounds is not insignificant.
Yeah.
Especially when you're both shredded and jacked, and you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You and me both, brother. We were both wrong. I thought Tatiana was going to ragdoll her, and it was the exact opposite. So I'm not counting Wei Li out. I think it's going to be a fantastic fight. I think in the striking, the power advantage definitely goes to Wei Li. I think they're pretty equal in technical striking. Like, Valentina is an excellent. She's a world. I mean, she was like something like a 17-time world kickboxing champion. So Valentina can kickbox, dude. She can stand up. She can throw kicks. She can throw punches. There's not a lot on them. Like, her kicks. Oh, I'll take that back. There's not a lot on her punches. Her kicks are hard as shit.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if Valentina chooses to stand and bang for 5 rounds, she's going to have to be really smart. She's going to have to get on her bicycle and make her points count and not get clipped. The really interesting part of that fight, I think, is on the ground, because they're both really. I was really impressed with Wei Li's grappling against Tatiana, because Tatiana is a world-class grappler, and Wei Li just absolutely dominated her. So I don't think that Valentina is just going to ragdoll Wei Li on the ground. I'm interested to see those exchanges, those transitions. You know what I mean? Like when they're sitting there grappling for position, like who's gonna win out? I do think that Valentina might end up being stronger because of the 10-pound weight advantage. So it's going to come down to technical grappling, like who's got the better jiu-jitsu, it'll be interesting. It's a fantastic fight either way.
Yeah. Now, when's that fight supposed to happen?
They haven't signed it yet, but they asked Valentina about two-ish months ago, or a month and a half ago. They asked her what fight she wants next, and she said, I'm pretty laid back. Like, whatever the UFC wants to do, whoever they want me to defend against, I'm with it. She's like, but if I had my choice, she's like, a lot of my fans want me to fight Zhang Wei Li. She's like, I love that fight. I look forward to the challenge. I think it would be a very tough, difficult fight, and one that's a real legacy fight. She's like, beating Wei Li would really cement my legacy. But it's a dangerous fight because Wei Li is good everywhere, and she's really good everywhere. She's like, but that would be the fight that I would want. And she's like, it seems like the fans want it too. So we'll see. And looking at the landscape, Mm, I mean, so give us 1 second. Let's land the plane on this Weili versus Valentina fight. Um, I think looking at the landscape, Valentina she's already cleared out a good chunk of the contenders. Weili has cleared out a good chunk of the contenders. I think that fight makes sense next. Unfortunately, I think they'll make Weili give up the belt to go up to 125 to challenge, which I don't agree with, but okay. So then that opens up interesting possibilities at strawweight. We'll finally get a new strawweight champion. But now going for Yuri or Roundtree, so that's going to be on the Drinkus card, correct? Can you pull that up real quick? Because I think they just signed that fight. The Yuri and Roundtree fight, I think, is going to be, or it's going to be in October, I think. No, it's on the Ankalaev and Pereira card. So, Mahadev, is that how you say your name, Mahadev? Yeah, UFC 320. So it's in October. It's on the Ankalaev Pereira card, which we'll get into that probably next week. Because with the last little bit of time that we have left, I want to talk about the upcoming card with Drinkus and Hamzat, since Ken and I have been looking forward to this fight for pretty much this whole year already. Yeah, Ankh versus Alex too. I hope Alex changes his game plan, because I think he can beat Ankalaev, but he's got to be more aggressive. He can't sit back and just wait. So yes, it's Mahadev. Okay. So to answer your question, that's a tough fight to call. Roundtree has ridiculous punching power. He's tough as nails. Yuri is an absolute animal. Like Yuri is completely live or die on the edge of a blade. Like Yuri is a samurai about it, dude. Like he's like, either I'm gonna kill you or you're gonna kill me. We're not going to decision, dude. Like, so I tend to lean towards Yuri because I think Yuri is the best in that division that's not Ankalaev or Pereira. Like I think Yuri is, unfortunately, he's that guy who kills everybody in the top 10 except the champion, if I'm being honest. He just can't get over, and he's been champion once, but I just don't know if he's going to be able to, at 205, if he's ever going to be champion. Well, ever is a long time. But I wouldn't mind seeing him fight Ankalaev, to be honest with you. Like, I think if Yuri beats Roundtree, and if Ankalaev beats Pereira again, I think if Ankalaev beats Pereira again and Yuri beats Roundtree, I wouldn't mind seeing that matchup, Yuri versus Ankalaev. I think that would be very interesting. Because I think Yuri's unpredictability lends itself to a victory more easily than Pereira against Ankalaev. Like, Ankalaev showed in the last fight with Pereira that, like, he wasn't really worried or bothered by anything that Pereira was doing. Not that Pereira was doing all that much, but I think Yuri's unpredictability, it lends itself more to, like, those unpredictable, unexpected moments, where somebody can get caught. Whereas I expect Ankalaev and Pereira is going to be a very controlled fight again, a very technical chess match, and it's just who lands the better shot, Hopefully not, but that's how I kind of see that fight going again. Whereas with Yuri, it's going to be absolute chaos until somebody's dead, Now, as far as Drinkus and Hamzat, Ken, go ahead. Why don't you say a few things about this fight?
Oh, this fight's going to be a hell of a banger. And let me start by phrasing this, is I freaking love Hamzat and how much of a rotten asshole he is to certain people. I like a good bad guy, and he's doing a very good job of being that good bad guy.
Are you talking about what he did to Costa's girlfriend?
Yep, that's exactly what I'm referring to.
It was a little bit racist.
Oh,
Yeah, it was a little bit racist. Like there was some racist undertones to it, so I can't completely get behind it. But I get what he was trying to do. I don't know if he was trying to be racist. Like
yeah,
I think,
I don't think he was, but yeah, I can see what you mean by having the undertones.
yeah, there's definitely some undertones there, but I don't know if he actually. I think it could be just a cultural misunderstanding where he he's pointing out a fact, or he's pointing out what he believes to be true. He's not necessarily looking to degrade black people. He's like, so what we're talking about, there's been a Twitter war between Hamzat and Paulo Costa where Hamzat just fired the latest shot, and he DM'd Paulo Costa's girlfriend or fiance saying, you deserve a real man. Your man likes black men. And he posted like the film of Israel Adesanya like humping Costa in their fight. And so you could see why we would say there's racial undertones to it, but I don't think it was intentional with Hamzat. I think it's more like he's just pointing out like you got humped by a black guy. Is this what you like? Kind of a thing. Like he's calling him a queer or he's calling him gay, but and he's calling him kind of like trying to cuck him basically.
Yep.
Hamzat's a fool, dude.
Yeah. But for the other half of my statement, I've doubted Drickus a couple of times, and every time I've doubted him, he's completely shown me that I was a fool for doubting him. So as of right now, I got to pick Drickus to win. Now, am I rooting for Hamzat? Absolutely. But I do think right now Drickus wins.
Man, see, that fight is so hard to call, man, because it's all going to hinge on what happens on the ground. They can both strike. They both have crazy power. But I'm like you. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hamzat's gas tank. But keep in mind, Hamzat's gas tank was only a problem in that Gilbert Burns fight, or in the Nigerian Nightmare. Gosh, why am I blanking on his name? Kamaru Usman. It was only a problem in the Usman fight, and that was at 170. At 185, I don't know that they have the gas tank problems. But it'll be interesting to find out. I'm like Ken in that I've already, and I've been proven wrong. I told myself, like, going forward, I'm not doubting Drickus anymore. But here I am doubting Drickus again because I really think Hamzat's going to win, dude. Like, I think Hamzat's going to take him down and strangle him, bro. Like, I just can't envision Hamzat not getting him to the ground. Like, I don't know. I think it's going to be a fantastic fight. Like, they'll start standing up unless Hamzat does what I said he should do and just literally runs across the octagon and just double legs him, dude. Just bojack him like, wow, like take him down and Rob Whittaker his ass, dude. Just break his fucking jaw. Squeeze his head till it pops off like a grape, dude. Like, I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting. But man, what do you say? It's like that. To me, this is truly it's not very often where we have like a pick'em fight, a real pick'em fight. But for me, this is a real pick'em fight. Like, you could flip a coin, dude. Like, I could see many ways that Drickus could win the fight, and I could see many ways that Hamzat could win the fight. Yeah, I don't know if it's going 3 rounds, dude. To be honest with you, I don't think Hamzat is looking to go 3 rounds, 5 rounds. I think Hamzat's like he figures I'm going to go in there and I'm going to take this dude out in the first round. Like, I'm going to take him down and I'm going to strangle him. And I think he has the grappling to do it. It's just Dricus has stupid fucking power, man. Like, Dricus has, dude, he knocked Rob Whittaker out with a jab, bro. Like, come on, man. Like, a jab, dude. Like, that dude hits so fucking hard, and he's got grappling too.
To be a little fair, you do see people getting knocked out from jabs a little more often in the UFC than you do boxing.
Yeah, but that dude, it was a power jab. Like it stunned him. I don't know, man. That's gonna be a fantastic fight. What's the money line on that fight? Because we're getting close. Like we're only a couple of weeks out.
All right.
I wonder if they have Hamzat as the favorite.
Dricus is plus 150 and Hamzat is minus 180.
Hamzat is the favorite, though not by much. That's crazy, dude. Like, that makes me almost lean towards Dricus because every time, it's not just us, Ken. Every time the world has counted out Dricus, Dricus rises to the occasion, dude. So, I don't know. Yeah, no, dude, I come back to that fight every so often here on the show. Ken knows, we've talked about it. Like the way that he just literally ran across the cage, got Kevin Holland down, and strangled him in the matter of like 90 seconds. Like, Kevin Holland didn't get to mount a single punch worth of offense. Like, nothing. It was just a complete... He just powered him, dude. Wiped him down. So, I don't think he's going to do that to Dricus, but I think Dricus will mount some kind of offense. But, man...
Well, since we mentioned Kevin Holland, we got to give a little bit of a shout-out to the hell of a fight that him and Rodriguez put on this past pay-per-view.
Yeah.
That was shit to me. I don't know. That might have been fight of the night with how entertaining that fight was.
Yeah, and surprisingly, they didn't give fight of the night to Poirier and Holloway. I felt like that fight deserved it too, but I mean, they at least deserve a bonus. If you're not going to give them fight of the night, the one hand part, yeah. So. Yeah, dude, it's going to be interesting. We're a couple weeks out. Who else is on that card? Because they didn't have a co-main event the last time I looked.
Yeah. Now, granted, it has listed Gaethje and Pimlet, but I don't think that one's happening. And you got Michael Page versus Jared Cannonier.
Dude, that's going to be a fight, bro. Jared the Killer Gorilla. That's his name, the Killer Gorilla Cannonier. Jared Cannonier has been a contender for a long time, dude. And he's a beast. Like, that dude has crazy elbows. He's got power. It's going to be interesting to see him fight Venom Page because Venom Page is such a fast and technical striker. That's going to be an interesting fight. And so they got Gaethje Pimblett on there, huh?
Yep.
Ooh. I don't think it's going to happen, but we'll see.
But we have unfortunately hit that time.
Yeah. We want to thank all you guys for watching. Well, we'll see. We'll talk about that next week. We want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for commenting. Make sure to tune in next week. And we'll see you guys. Have a good one.
Yeah, yo, it's game time, ain't no messing around. Huddle Sports Network, the best in town. From